Hey guys, and welcome to the Leftover Culture Review, and welcome to the new games room. You may have seen it in my last video. I got to release my first video game review for 2020. So that was Decap Attack for Halloween. Fantastic little platformer. Kind of does what it says on the tin. Like, it is a platforming game. You play as a mummy and you get a couple of power-ups. So it's really straightforward, but it was a really fun one to review. And for me, it was interesting hopping back in front of the camera and realizing just how rusty I felt. You know, like, I tried to pull a costume together which was supposed to be a mummy, which fell apart. And then just trying to talk to the camera and getting through all the information and all the dates and all the different games that Vic Tokai made and how they ended up at Decap Attack. I guess I realized in that moment just how much I haven't been doing this. So I do really appreciate the chance to just like hop on camera and give you guys a bit of an update on what's happening with the channel, what's happening in my life, what's happening around. As you can see, I probably spent a bit more time setting up some lights here in the games room. It's a much smaller space than I've had in the past, but I also think that it could be like really functional for the review. So I'm really excited to spend a bit more time in here and just work out the best way to film myself talking to you guys. Because for me, that was a big thing in the past when I had the other games rooms. I used to spend a lot of time in there already, just like doing this, like my home office would be in the games room. So I'd have, a lot of time in that space to work out what angles I liked, how I wanted the light set up. I could replicate it, I could keep doing it, I could make adjustments and changes. Don't even have any Halloween decorations, which I definitely got to get on that for the Christmas episode. I do love Christmas, like it's my favorite time of year, so I really want to make sure that I can make things feel a bit Christmassy and bring some of that magic to you guys. So yeah, new games room, new space to work in. You may have also noticed that I broke my wrist, so I actually look more like a mummy now than I did for the review, probably. I probably broke it the weekend that I filmed the Decap Attack review, which, you know, if I waited a couple of weeks, I could have incorporated this into my costume. I've picked up rollerblading just at night, trying to practice. I haven't done like any exercise for 10 years, so I figured I may as well start somewhere. And it's easier to fit rollerblades in your car than it is a bike. So I've picked up rollerblading, which is a hell of a lot of fun. But obviously, if you do want to go out rollerblading, just try and work out how to stop and how to brake and where you can skate safely as you're practicing these things. Because I made the assumption when I went out rollerblading, because I broke this on the first week that I got my rollerblades. So I was going out and doing a few different paths around the area, and I was enjoying it, and I wasn't falling over that much. And I'm like, hey, I'm actually picking this up really well. I might try like a bigger path. And it didn't look steep. So it was like an incline, like, oh, this arm's probably better. It was like an incline like that. So it didn't look steep, but it kept going and going and going. So the longer and longer I went, not knowing how to stop, the more speed I picked up. And I'm not a light guy, you know, I'm 6 foot, 100 kilograms. Like, I just kept picking up speed until I hit a crack in the pavement, and obviously tried to break my fall with my hand and got some really nice like grazing up the arm. So I definitely recommend working out how to stop and how to slow down. But while I was skating, it was a hell of a lot of fun, and the skates are there ready for me when I get the cast off, which should be in like a week or two anyway. So I've been kind of, again, really hoping to do a few more reviews and things here in this space. Christmas is a big one for me. I have so many ideas for what I want to do for Christmas. So one of you really, really special people out there, I keep butchering the pronunciation of your name, which I'm really sorry. I'd love to say thank you and say it properly. But last year, he sent me some fantastic comic books all the way from Norway. So I got this fantastic collection of comic books. I talked about it at the time in my last Christmas episode. But this year he's sending over a Sega Master System. So that's a system that I sold off a couple of years ago to pay some bills. But he's donating his old one for me, so I'm getting this incredible package, but he hasn't told me what else is in it. I know maybe a couple of the games, but I've also ordered some games that he assured me weren't in the parcel as well, so I'm going to have a Sega Master System Christmas this year, hopefully, if the package arrives on time, and I'm really excited to show that off and talk about the Sega Master System again and be able to do those reviews a bit better. Obviously emulators are a fantastic choice, and I still dip back into the Sega Master System library, but the physical act of having these consoles and these games and being able to talk about them and show them off and play them up there on the screen, even though you just see, like, I don't actually play them in the reviews themselves, but I do sit down with these games and play them a lot. Like, there's a lot of games that I'll go back and revisit you know, well after the reviews are over. General Chaos at the moment is a fantastic. So it's in my Sega Mega Drive at the moment. One of my favorite Mega Drive games of all time, General Chaos. So if you're looking for some fun over the holiday season, it actually supports multi-tap. Where was I going? Oh, Sega Master System. Yeah, super excited to have a new system coming for Christmas. Thank you so much for that gift. Like, I'm really pumped for this. So yeah, really looking forward to the Christmas episode this year. If you probably don't remember back, one of the first ever reviews I did was the Shinobi game, Vigilante, for the Sega Master System. I did some of the Shinobi games for the Sega Master System. One of my very first Christmas review was eSwap, because I talked about how this Cyborg Cop was a bit like Jesus being resurrected. It's a very much like a RoboCop style game, because you play as a Cyborg Cop who gets like power-ups and attachments as you complete levels. So yeah, I remember that was like one of my first ever Christmas reviews, which was a whole lot of fun. It takes me, like, it's been nearly 10 years of the Leftover Culture review, which is a really scary thought as well. Going back and watching some of those earlier videos with young Bruiser, what a flashback. So having the Sega Master System for Christmas is something I'm really excited about again. Another thing that I've got in the post at the moment is Art Attack for the Sega Mega Drive. That should be, I'm hoping to pull a review together coming up. One thing that I've been doing a lot of in my downtime, like a way to de-stress and to just relax a little bit, the little bit of relaxing that I do, is I do a lot of illustration. So this guy behind me is something that I drew on the iPad and got printed through Officeworks on banners. And I've been doing that, like, now that I've got all this space, my own place, I've been printing banners and printing artwork and trying to make it feel a bit more like home. But that, like, taking art a little bit more seriously and the illustration and the design stuff that I do, it's something that I'm really passionate about, and it's something that I've been able to do a bit more of in my job, my actual job. So it's something that I've been taking more interest in as well, but being able to share a bit more of my art is something that I am pretty passionate about, especially when I can, like, do some more drawing again. And I think the Art Attack review would be like a really fun one to, like, look into this really early graphic design software, which hasn't been received super well, but imagine being able to do something really cool in such a simple program. So that's one thing I've been sort of playing with the idea of and working around, and maybe that could be like my first review next year, would be that game, if I can do the Sega Master System for Christmas. Anyway, there are plans, things are happening, I've got plenty of ideas, they never stop, it's just trying to find the time. And I mentioned my job a bit earlier, so I started working at a government archives 2 years ago, which doesn't sound like it'd be like the most hip, trendy place to work, but the stuff that I've been able to do there has been really, like, amazing, and I've been given some of the work that I've been able to do is like graphic design for exhibitions, exhibition design, publications. I've been working on video stuff and animations. We did an exhibition in Cairns all about cane toads and the introduction of cane toads to Queensland, and why the introduction, like in 1935, why it even happened. So I've been working with a lot of historical material, trying to make it fun, exciting, and accessible, but I get to do that in a lot of really interesting and unique ways. So yeah, to wrap up, I'm keeping busy, I'm working, I'm alive, I'm here. I've only got one tiny small broken bone. But I'm trying to do things at the moment that get me excited again about about life. Like the illustration, like hopping back on camera and doing this. But look, I do really appreciate you guys just tuning in and listening to me talk. I have really missed being able to do this, and it's something that, it's a skill that you got to keep practicing, and it's one that I hope to keep doing. Like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still alive. I'm still functioning. I'm keeping busy, and I only broke like one small bone, so hopefully I'll be able to do the Christmas episode sort of unimpeded, because it's just awkward having like, it's called a back slab cast, so it's not like all the way around, it's just half a cast sitting there to just stop me moving my wrist, but it's super bloody awkward. So I'm hoping to have it off when I do the Christmas review, because I don't want to deal with that. But yeah, look, I'm alive, I'm kicking, I'm doing things that I'm really passionate about as well, which I think is an important thing that I wanted to get across. Like, I haven't been doing lots of leftover culture review stuff, even though I've always been really passionate about this channel and being able to like make really interesting content. But I've been, I guess, learning how to rollerblade, doing more, sorry, I say learning how to rollerblade, learning how to fall better rollerblading. I've been able to do some more art and a bit more of that other stuff in life that gets me really excited. And yeah, until next time, stay tuned for some more leftover culture review.